I picked AEW stars for this news video because this news video is fixated on a lot of AEW news, starting with, I love the look of the new setups. It looks more updated and more, it looks nice. It looks nice. It was time for AEW to change things up, and they hit a home run, in my opinion. But remember, like I said, subtlety goes a long way in professional wrestling, and subtle changes or subtle differences between Rampage and Dynamite will allow Rampage to set up its own identity, which is absolutely necessary for the second brand of AEW to do in 2023. But I, for one, love the new setup. I love the fact that they were able to keep the face and heel sides. But also, I just want to say, I want to echo the same sentiment that I saw a fan say, and that is that I don't want AEW to start tapping into more of the WWE setup with all LED boards and shit like that. I think AEW needs to maintain a semblance of uniqueness and difference from WWE, which is what they had, but I still believe it was time for them to change. So we'll have to see what to expect on Rampage this week from the side of AEW. Speaking of AEW Dynamite, though, last night on Dynamite we saw a new AEW TNT champion as Samoa Joe finally dropped one of his titles, and he dropped it to former TNT champion and the current record holder for the longest reign as champion, Darby Allin, who won the title in his hometown and at AEW's first event in the Pacific Northwest, specifically up in Seattle. And you also had Buddy Wayne's son, Nick Wayne, in the audience, who is also a future, I guess you could call him a future signing of AEW, because AEW basically told the kid, finish your education and then you got a spot here when it's done. But he is also close with Darby, and Samoa Joe attacked Nick Wayne before the match began, which made Darby Allin go right after Joe and not waste any time before the bell rang for a brawl to take place. Because, again, Nick Wayne is Buddy Wayne's son, or grandson, and Buddy Wayne is the man who trained Darby Allin. But there was a pre-match brawl, and that set up for an intense match between Darby and Samoa Joe, which Darby Allin ended up winning. And I would suggest that if you haven't seen the highlights of the match yet, that go watch it on AEW's YouTube channel, because they're worth it. Because it's worth it. Also on Dynamite, we had an interaction between MJF and Bryan Danielson, leading to the question of, did we just see the main event for Revolution announced between MJF and the American Dragon, as there were rumors since MJF won the belt from Jon Moxley back at Full Gear. There have been rumors that MJF would have his first title defense against Bryan Danielson, and in my opinion that still seems like where they're going to go, Bryan Danielson against MJF. But the special part of it is that the match is set to be an Iron Man match. 30 minutes between MJF and Bryan Danielson. That is if Bryan Danielson can win every match between yesterday's Dynamite and February the 8th to allow him to be number one contender for Revolution and the MJF's Triple B belt. Because as MJF said, if Danielson wanted a title shot, then he needed to do it MJF's way. And it's very astute of AEW to work in Danielson's win-loss record, because Bryan Danielson has had somewhat of a one-sided, I suppose, win-loss record since joining AEW, where he hasn't been afraid to lose, but maybe, just maybe, he's lost a little too much to be considered a credible number one contender. So stringing together a few wins here and there over the next couple of weeks would not only add to the story that comes at Revolution, but also get Bryan Danielson on the winning side, and a better side, in my opinion, as his first championship title shot since since Hangman Page, I should say, comes his way. But also, we got an interesting bit to come for Bryan Danielson, as well, with the William Regal stuff. In my opinion, it was something that we would have seen eventually between MJF and Bryan Danielson. But I, for one, am glad to see Bryan Danielson featured in a prominent position like he's going to be, because there is no better person, in my opinion, to be the first challenger for Maxwell at Revolution, especially in an Iron Man match. And if that wasn't enough, we got another Sasha Banks update, as there are rumors after Mercedes Mone debuted at Wrestle Kingdom 17. The rumors started to persist. Would Mercedes Mone end up being Saraya's mystery partner next week on Dynamite? And it seems like the rumors are persisting that yes, Mercedes Mone will be Saraya's mystery partner, meaning that that the only debut we see from Mercedes will not be in New Japan or Stardom. It will also be on AEW Dynamite. But the question is, will she debut? Because right now, Toni Storm is penciled in to be Saraya's partner. Could they work it out to where Toni Storm gets taken out and Saraya needs to find a new replacement for her match with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter? Absolutely. But is it 100% confirmed that Sasha Banks will be there next week on Dynamite? No. Will I need some time to stop calling her Sasha Banks and start calling her Mercedes? Yes. But either way, there are rumors now. The rumors haven't ended just because she debuted in New Japan. There are still 100% Mercedes Moné has kept herself 100% in the news cycle, with more rumors persisting about another debut to come, this one on Dynamite next week. Let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on the possibility of seeing Mercedes Moné on next week's Dynamite as Saraya's partner, and anything else that you would like to comment on or talk about down in the comment section. Let me know and feel free, because this is it for me. I'll see you in the next news video, as we got a lot more to come on a busy news day. See you in the next one.